Paul prays that these believers in Ephesus would come to know the full extent of God's love. It is not something that he wants to leave up to words and to the intellect. It's something that he truly wants them to experience. It's something that I want all of us to be able to fully experience. Look what Paul says as we go through these verses again, 17b through 19a. That you, being rooted and grounded in love, may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ, which surpasses knowledge. He wants them to know love in the context of being in love. You can't impress upon someone how love moves you or how love can move a person unless that person has experienced love. And, to do this, we need, as Christians, in order to better comprehend this love, we need to proceed in love. Paul talks about being rooted and grounded. Our love starts somewhere. Our love starts with the love that God has for us. For God so loved the world, and we read in John 3:16, don't we? It's not that the world so loved God that God gave the world his Son. It's for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. Love starts with God. God initiates the relationship. He comes to us in his grace and in his glory and in his love. He offers us his love freely, his love abundantly, and his love amazingly. So we proceed within good ground. A tomato plant grows from where it is planted. And you and I, we begin to grow in our knowledge of the love of Christ as we plant ourselves firmly by faith in Christ. We begin to experience and appropriate and understand that love as we proceed in love, as it becomes our driving motive. And as it drives us, we grow in love. I think each and every one of us in here today has the capacity to love more. With God, he wants us to increase not only our capacity, but our ability to go show others love and to be able to love him. Love seeks reciprocity, doesn't it? When you love someone, you desire them to love you back. That's the nature of love. God desires that we love him back. And love wants to be loved back in the measure that it's given. Now, there is not a single one of us who ever will rise to Christian perfection to be able to love God as fully as he has loved us. But as long as we're alive, as long as our lungs are pulling in air and our hearts are beating, we can grow in our capacity to love God. Our hearts can swell and grow inwardly by the strengthening of the Spirit so that we can grow and mature in our ability to love God and to love others.